The following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewer, welcome to Chungu cha Jamii. I'm your host Eunice Mugo. Today on the show we are having our topic of raising the boy child, and you're asking a very interesting question. Are you a man enough? That's the question you're asking today. Send in your question, interact with us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. I'm not alone. I have a guest with me who is going to help us to understand better when you're asked if you're a man enough, and to reflect, are you a man enough? I will allow him to introduce himself. Welcome, guest.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Dr. S.K. Kamau. I'm a life coach. I am a consultant in matters of leadership and human development. And I'm grateful to be here today so that we can discuss this issue on, are you man enough to say I do? I think that's the topic. Are you man enough to say?
I do.
I do. And I believe this issue of calling of maturity and willingness to take responsibility.
True.
And you see, we usually say a child is born, but a man is created. Even when the scripture says about Jesus, unto us a child is born. Then it says, unto us a son. So there's a journey between childishness and sonship. Because a son represents a mature, a responsible person who is willing to carry out the agenda for that which he was created for. So there's always room for maturity. And maturity here does not mean the issues of age. It's not the issue of years, because we have people who are old in terms of age, but they are still
nothing to be shown.
But they are acting like kids.
Sure. Because
at age 12, in the book of Luke, when Jesus is presented to the temple, and the parents are leaving, and after 3 days they look for him and they don't find him. So they come and look and find him in the temple. And he's at age 12. And he's asking the parents, why are you looking for me?
I'm in my father's house.
Yeah, the Bible says I'm in my father's house, but I like the one that says, don't you know? I must be in my father's business. At age 12, he is asking the parents, I expected you to know that I must be in carrying out my father's business. So what is that? He was conscious of responsibility at age 12. So he was willing to carry out the responsibility for that which he was created. So when you're talking about being man enough, it's awakening to a realization of my why factor. Of my why? My why factor. Why am I existing? So people can be 20 years, 50 years, 70 years, but they have not been able to come up with the answer of my why factor.
How do you even start to reflect on the why factor? Because it comes, from where I'm seated, I think it comes with the reflection and realization, the self-realization.
Very good.
How now do you bridge it so that you are able to answer the why factor?
The why factor. That's why even Jesus is asking his parents, don't you know? So one of the greatest responsibility of parenting is helping the child to come to an awareness of 5 fundamental things. One is, where did I come from? Where is my source? Where did I come from? And that's why in Jeremiah 1:5, God is telling Jeremiah, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. And not only knew you, I also appointed you as a prophet. And Jeremiah is a young boy at that particular time. I have ordained you as a prophet, I set you apart. So one of the key factors that parents should be able to do, or in the mentorship program, is helping people come to a realization, where did I come from? Then, who am I The issue of personal identity. You know, then the principle of why am I here? The issue of purpose. You know, and of course, coming to a realization of what resources do I have? What abilities do I have? So it's very, very important. When we are talking about being man enough, you are aware of where did I come from? Number two, who am I? The issue of personal identity. Number three, the issue of purpose. Why am I here? What is my mission? What is my responsibility? And of course, because of that responsibility, we have been endowed with gifts, with talents, with abilities, with potentials, with professions. You know? And of course, apart from that, then we should know who am I with, the principle of relationship. You know? So those are fundamental issues that should be awakened to in a child by the parents. And that's why the parents should be able to know that this child is coming, this man is coming, this boy is coming for this particular purpose. And because of that, we have seen many people existing, just drifting with life.
Sure.
They are drifting in life. They don't know why they are here. They don't know why they are woken up. They don't know why they exist. And that causes many people to live a life of try and error. You know, patapatea. You try this, you try that. You know, what many people call hustling. You know, you are hustler, or you are unajaribu tu, or you are just suffering. You are just a sufferer. You are a survivor. You know, and that's why some people even came up with the song "I'm Born to Suffer," because they don't understand why they came. So when we are talking about being man enough, we are talking about somebody who has an realization of his divine source, of his divine purpose, of his divine resources. And that's why Jesus is saying, at age 12, don't you know I must be in my Father's business? So he is carrying out a particular divine responsibility.
I like the fact that you're pointing out and reflecting to the story in the book of Luke, right?
Yeah.
Now, Jesus asked the parents, don't you know?
Yes.
Meaning they didn't know. That is why they were coming to Luke.
Actually, when you look at that phrase, it's like, when hamujui.
My question.
Because they are supposed to have known, and because before he was born, the angel appeared to Mary. And he told Mary, you will be with a child, and you shall call him Jesus. Why? For he will save Israel. So she had already an awareness. And she had been told this pregnancy is not a human pregnancy. It's a divine encounter.
Yes.
So that's why we are talking about parents coming to an awareness of the children. Because sometimes we think the children belong to us. We think it's our own effort. It's our own, it's just it's a biological activity. Biological activity of conception is influenced by a divine power. There is always behind divine power God's agenda in the conception of the child. So it's not the man-woman effort. It is actually God causing it. Because David says in Psalms 139, you saw my unformed body. So we existed in God, in the spiritual realms, because we are spirit beings. We are not human beings. We are spirit beings contained in a human vessel. So that human vessel has to be constructed biologically so that it can contain. And that's why it says, and God created man in Genesis, when you talk about man enough, and God created man. Then what did he do? Male and female. So there was man enough first, before they were put in the containers. Because male and female are containers that contain man. So what is man therefore? Man is the spirit being. So man enough is coming to an awakening of your divinity, not being conscious of your humanity. So when you say, are you man enough? Are you awake enough to your spiritual identity? Spirituality comes before humanity. So manhood is not the physical. Even this, when you are taking this water, the water is not the liquid. It is those things inside the liquid that makes us feel fulfilled. Like when I'm taking water, this is the grass, which contains water. Water is not the liquid part. It is what is contained in the liquid.
Which is the invisible things that we don't see.
Very good. The invisible. Because the invisible is the one that dictates the visible. And Hebrews says in Hebrews 11:3 that we know that the visible things were created from the invisible. So when you talk about man, we are talking about that invisible being. And that's the being that is in age 12 saying, don't you know I must be in my father's house? And that's why now when God appears to a man called Gideon, a very young man also, I think around age 17 or around, he is hiding. And he's telling God, I am the youngest, I am the least. But the angel says, you are a mighty man of valor. You are a strong man. But he is looking at himself from the humanity perspective. But from the divine perspective, he is a strong man, he is a savior, and he is told, go in the strength that you have and save Israel. And he was wondering, who are you talking about? Because I'm not man enough. What are you talking about? Actually, in one of the scriptures says, Gideon tells God, pardon me. Can you say it again? So anasikiza humanity, anasikiza ground, your ground, baada ya kusikiza heaven. So when you talk about money now, you're talking about people that are conscious of their divine, of their divinity. So many people can be of age, they have big bodies, they have many years, but they have not yet been awake enough. And that's the principle of good news. We share good news so that people can awake to their divine source and their divine, their divinity. I'm a divine being. And that divine being is what connects us into our sonship.
Right there. Right there. Hold on, because before we get lost here.
We are not lost.
You know, how you've brought it out is very interesting, right? Yeah. Given that in this current generation or in the world that we are living in, we are so prompt to dwell in carnality and to dwell in kwa ground. You know, we barely reflect life and everything that pertains us, even the why factor, in a spiritual way.
Good.
So when we come back now to the ground, right?
Yes.
What are these things that we look at?
Yeah.
Would we say we have, is it a template? No, template we have, it's the spirit being and the why factor, right? So what is the checklist for now, ground?
Ground.
What is the checklist? So that me sitting here, looking at the other person and wanting to know, regardless of the vessel, but I would say today we are looking at man as a vessel, the boy child as a vessel.
The male.
The male.
Yeah. The male.
So when you're looking at this vessel,
the male man,
ndio nijue this product I'm taking home, or this product it's a waste. There is no, it's not worth the investment. What is the checklist that we are looking at?
Okay. You see, in basic human psychology and development, we go by years. 0 to 6, like that. But that's the human perspective. And for us to be able to fulfill and be a fulfilled man, we got to get out of that. We should not allow our humanity to determine us, because we shall despise ourselves. And that's why Paul is even telling Timothy, do not let anyone despise you, because you are young. Because people may look at your age. I'm 15, I'm 17, I'm less, you know, and then they start dismissing you. Because if you allow the human development of ages and strength to define exactly who I am, I'll either dismiss myself, I will either disqualify myself, I will either despise myself. Are we there? Because those are factors. Like sometimes I was telling people, if you are never told your birthday, will you be conscious of being old? One of the problems of birthdays, they awaken your consciousness of your oldness. That's why I don't celebrate birthdays.
Ooh.
I don't, because they are awakening my consciousness of growing old. And that's even when God appeared to Adam, he'd ask him, who told you you are naked? Who told you? Who informed you that? Because when you start looking at those aspects, they will start, you start disqualifying yourself, so those are some of the issues. Because when it comes to the spiritual dimensions, it says, even Moses was 120 years old and his eyes had not become dimmed. Mm-hmm. But somebody gets 50, automatos yoni.
When times has changed.
No, but it says very well, you will renew your strength. Because if this spirit that resurrected Christ dwells in you, it will give life to your mortal bodies. So we should not be conscious of our mortality. We should be conscious of our immortality. Mm-hmm. That immortal being, that invisible being, is the one that is supposed to be telling this. So, and that is what we are talking about. Living from the inside out. Mm-hmm. Being man enough is being able to live from inside out, not from outside in. Mm-hmm. Because even at 100 years, Abraham is causing women to be pregnant. When the wife dies, Sarah, he marries another one. And plus 100. But these days, when somebody gets about 70, oil imeisha huku kwa magoti, nini,
But that comes also with the biological clock and the
awareness. It is because of our consciousness of our humanity.
But by the end of the day, you also have to be cautious of everything. So how are you going to equalize the factor or the question? No, this is not X. This is the factor of consciousness.
That's what you're talking about. Are you man
enough?
That's now the issue. The issue of being man enough is being awakened to your immortality, so that your immortal being becomes the discussion factor that now informs the mortality. You know what to do. It's not the mortality.
I want us to take a break, and when we come back, from this. Yeah. I'd say it even in Swahili to make it more interesting. Immortality and mortality part. I think we really need a better definition of that, so that we get the concept of where we are going. Yes. Right? Okay. Reason as to why I'm saying this is, some of us, we know mortality and immortality from movies. Yeah. So I'm immortal from everything. From a movie perspective, where I can be done anything and everything, and yet I still stand. But in reality, what am I looking at? Kwa ground, this ground that we are talking about, I really want to dwell hapo kwa your ground. Because the awakening also inakuja hapo. Because in most of the time when you're looking and reflecting, tunaangalia ground. In as much as now tuna reflect in the why factor in the spiritual part of it.
Now your ground, do you know to yone kutoka from that perspective. Tutakuja kwa ground. But to come from the ground, not from the ground perspective, but kutoka juu. Okay. So that the heaven us, the divine us, now defines our humanity. Not defining humanity from humanity.
I get your point now. I get it.
Now you get your point.
I get it.
So we don't define humanity from humanity, because we will have fallen short of our realness, what you're calling the reality.
Okay. Viewers, send in your question, interact with us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. We'll be back shortly.
Hello kids, and welcome to Mind, where we learn, we laugh, and we explore.
Today we are going to be reading about what? Yes, Bible story.
Are you ready to listen to our today's Bible story? Are you ready to listen? Hands on ears. Are you ready to listen? 1 Samuel chapter 17 talks about the story of David and Goliath. Have you ever heard of the story of David and Goliath before?
Follow us at GPS TV Africa. Also, you can SMS us on our SMS line 21144.
This is the
youth hub show that gets a groove on. We have so many topics lined up for you guys.
Can you survive without internet?
No, I can't. Siwezi survive bila internet mimi.
Hii ni kama kuambia mtu mwenye alikuwa amezoea kushindana nguo, mwambie toa nguo ushinde.
She's still like Tito who believes in miracles.
Don't you believe in miracles?
Don't you believe in miracles?
If you're in love, akili inafungika na macho. You won't see anything negative in the relationship.
So my films, I can get funding to get a lot of time to do pre-production, so that when I'm shooting, costume ulishapanga, kila watu wako wanajua wanavaje, shooting location, like that process ya kwenda ku secure location, kwenda kwenye video, secure location, you get and like wow, the location ikiweza pata,
This is where it will all happen.
It makes you happy.
Kuwa na vitu mingi sana, mapanga le nini. Sasa hizo issues zimekuwa zinachocha sana. Tunataka kutuka hivyo tu bila hii mambo ya mneti.
Are you ready? So, guess the logo. Reveal.
Cadillac.
Unasema Cadillac.
Tunapenda watu. We love communicating. We love welcoming people.
Internet ilikuja kututoa pangiza.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, viewer, to Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about boy child, and we are asking a question: are you a man enough?
Yeah.
Say, I do. Even before we say I do, I think my greatest question is: are you a man enough?
Are you man enough?
Because once you've realized you're a man enough is when you say I do, in different aspects. Send in your question, interact with us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, we've talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And now the question yenye ilikuwa inakuja sasa, you've really like kuna mahali umenipoteza. But I still want to find my footing and bearing because yeah, I want to get that.
You see, even David, this question you're asking here, when David was just about to die or to leave, he called his son Solomon, a very young boy, in the book of 1 Kings chapter 2. And he told him, now I'm just about to go in the way of our forefathers. He told him, show yourself a man. Prove yourself a man. You are young in terms of age, but there is this responsibility that you have to carry. So he was awakening him not to the consciousness of his youngness of age, is awakening him to that calling that God has for you. That responsibility that God has bestowed upon you. That is, the issue of proving yourself is be ready to take responsibility. So man enough is somebody who is willing to take responsibility in totality. And that should be awakened as early as when the child is being conceived, growing in the mother's womb, being talked about. And that's where God speaks when Jesus is being baptized. This is my dear son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear him. Because there were so many things surrounding Jesus. There were so many questions. His conception, who is really his father, all those kind of things. So he needed a voice. So for men to be men enough, they need to have somebody who speaks in several dimensions, speaks over them, speaks into them, speaks to awake them to the heroes that they are, the champions that they are. Because the child requires a lot of affirmation. You have what it takes. So being man enough is knowing that I believe I can. I believe I have the ability to take responsibility and to fulfill the calling that God has for my life. So people who are men enough, or we talk about being men enough, are people that are ready to take responsibility. Because a real man is a man. You know, the other day I was talking to a group of men, and I was calling them that they are men from above, you know. And being man enough is knowing that as a man, number one, you are a source of security. You are a protector. You know, you are not a predator. You are a whatever you are given, it has to be protected. You know, and that's when even in the shoulders that we have, that God has given us, the strength that He has given to us, is not for anything else. It's for providing security. The strength that I have is that, you know, there was a time in this country we are talking about, is this femicide, women, you know, and who was killing these women? It's not women. It is men. Because the strength that we have been given is not for destruction. Being man enough is being able to know I'm providing security. I am a contributor to the well-being and the welfare of the society. So any woman that comes around me, they should feel safe. They should feel secure, emotionally secure, mentally secure, if even possible economically secure. You have signs of security. So being man enough is providing what? Safety and stability.
Well said. Now, the men will be asking.
Yes.
Who is giving that to them?
It's already in them. It's waking to that awareness. When I was growing up in our days, and they may be too old days, a woman would be walking at night and comes to our house. And you are giving a small boy to escort you. There's no issue. And you escort. And then the woman reaches home.
And you come back home.
Then you are told, Asante sana, go on your way. And it's dark. And it's like a small boy. And like a small boy will still, you know, because within us, we had been told, you are a hero. You know, there was no issue of fear. Because we are supposed to awake to the realization, I am a provider of security. I am a provider of safety. You know, people should feel safe with me. So when we are talking about man enough, we are saying, what contributions are you making for the safety, the progress, the stability of the society, all those kind of things. So that's what David is telling Solomon. Show yourself, man, take over the responsibility. I had this idea of building the temple. Now it's for you to bring this vision to pass. So being man enough is able to bring to pass the business of the Father, the mission of God, the mission that... So men are able to... Look at, God is called the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his generation. So being man enough is able to take what one generation did not bring to pass and take it to the next generation and make it better and better. Yes.
Interesting. Especially when you say about the generation and bringing it,
yes,
like carrying it, and also the fact that being a man enough, it has nothing to do with age.
Yes.
But yet again, I bet to bring this question in a different way. Yeah. A man in the vessel of male.
Male, yes.
Right?
The male man. The male man.
Who has been brought up not knowing their Y factor.
Yes.
And now has given birth to another male. In a male version.
Yeah.
The first man doesn't know the Y factor
yes.
of the spiritual being that you have talked about, and we've really dwelt on it so much.
Yeah.
And now he has brought in another male. This is another generation. Now, this one is lacking. What is he going to impact in this other generation of the things he don't have? And also the exposure, because the other time you say, we're already exposed to everything. You can learn, you can read it, you can borrow it from someone else who you think is the man enough according to your own standard and stature. Away now from the Bible as the manual which is open to everyone. Right? Now, how do you go back to that? Because again, when you look at it from the perspective of African perspective, now, right now is when we are open to that. Before, there is no way you would say, where I'm brought up or where I was born is not conducive enough for me to be a man enough. Nitahamia kwa jirani. That one is not going to happen. You just have to like maneuver your way around. But now when you've already realized that, at a later, now maybe in generation 3, how do you bridge in these two so that we don't end up having the enmity?
That's being a very good example so that you don't struggle. There was a man called Timothy in the Bible. Paul is saying this, my son Timothy. My
son Timothy.
Then he says, the faith that I see in you was the faith that was in your mother, and that faith was in your grandmother. The question is, where was his father and his grandfather? Are you getting now? So it means this boy had been brought up, but there was something called father absence. Because what Paul is conscious about is the things that were imparted to him by the mother and the grandmother. So this boy seems to have suffered from fatherlessness. And that's why now Paul is coming in as a mentor. Are you getting? And that's why now, the hour that we are living in, there are men that God is waking up, because there have been many men, young men, or men that has been sired, wamezaliwa, but they have not been molded, shaped into manhood. So they have the male shape, but what they contain inside is not manhood enough. Because it's only another man that can be able to mentor another man. Because you impart, it says, he who walks with the wise becomes wise. So there is an issue of impartation. As iron sharpens iron, so another man sharpens another. So there is a deliberate awakening of the mature men to be able to move, and you see, Timothy was willing. So the issue of there being mentors, there is also need for the mentees to awake that I need to be mentored. And that's why he's telling, don't allow anyone to despise you. So he had faith, but within his makeup, he had no self-esteem, he had no self-worth, he had no boldness. So there's another man who is telling him, do not allow anyone to, because he was living with that consciousness of, I'm not good enough. I'm not, what can I say, I'm not man enough. Though I have this faith, I believe in God and all those things, but his manhood was suffering from lack of self-esteem. You know, he even had problems. I don't want to go into the theological aspect. They say he was suffering from stomach ulcers, stomach problems. The stomach was rubbling. Because when you are not man enough, you're not confident enough, what happens? Your stomach even rumbles of fear. There are people who have stage flights. Are they called stage flights? You cannot appear bold enough in stage. You cannot even make an approach even to a woman, because we are not even very sure whether even Timothy even got married. We are not very sure, because it's even Paul himself who circumcised him. So what we are talking about, there should be men that awake as intentional and deliberate to start mentoring others. And those that are there should be willing to get into mentorship program. The reason why we have so many women, ladies that are bold enough, because globally, there has been an initiative of women empowerment. And in the process of women empowerment, the boy child has forgotten himself and has been forgotten, and therefore he has been disempowered. So we have so many young men, and many men even of my age, they are old enough, but they have no self-esteem. They are not bold enough. They are not courageous enough. Their manhood is not man enough.
Their manhood is not man enough.
Man enough.
When you're talking about man enough, also qua ground, we look at the masculinity part of it.
Yes.
And we also look at the emotional integrity.
Yes.
Now, when you're talking about EQ, the emotional quotient part of it, and now the IQ, the intelligence.
And AI.
We'll get to AI later. AI is going to suppress us in a way. But now, when we are looking at the EQ, the IQ, the SQ, you know, in a man, especially when you're being asked, there is a way you can be asked, like the way we are having this conversation.
Yeah.
It's very polite and educative, right? But there is a way in it can be asked to you and a man takes offense, especially when it's coming from a woman. And you're in a relationship. Or you guys are just having a random dispute, and then you're asked, are you a man enough? And you're like, why would you even ask me that? You even don't know, you don't want to know the why factor of why I've asked you that question in the first place. But you'll automatically get offense, right? So depending with how the question has been framed, it brings about the answer, the reaction, the ripple effect, and the everything that comes after. Now, depending with also who is asking, because also a father can ask, like you said, David called Solomon and told, prove yourself a man. Now, when you're also called to prove yourself a man, there is a lot of things that you're expected. That is the society that we are in today. A lot is expected. In as much as we are saying men or boy child have not been empowered as much, they have been disempowered as women are being empowered so much. Now, we said there is the mentorship program where they need to go learn and relearn and learn, right? But now, kwa ground hii yenye tunaongelelea ya the emotional quotient and the supporting part and the intentionality bit of it. When you're asked, are you a man enough? Instead of reacting, how are you supposed now to come and prove yourself? More so in relationship, without getting offense or offended, but rather now proving yourself a man.
You see, I like especially in the area of relationship.
Because it has a lot of pressure.
Yes, a lot of pressure. And one of the proving man enough is being proving man enough to yourself.
Okay.
Let me repeat again. Am I man enough to myself? The greatest commandment says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So first of all, is being conscious of, do I affirm myself? Do I appreciate myself? Do I accept myself? Can I be able to do what we call self-leadership? It's the principle of, first of all, awakening to yourself. How do you relate with yourself? If you're angry with yourself, if you hate yourself, if you have a lot of negative vibes within yourself, you will just require a small trigger.
And you explode.
And you explode. You explode. Because many people are exploding because they have very much negative vibes around themselves. They don't accept themselves. They don't believe in themselves. They don't accept themselves unconditionally. They even don't appreciate themselves. They even don't know how to take themselves out and having a my, me, and myself movement. You know, they have a lot of transactions that they make that are very negative. Rarely do they have what we call positive self-talk. commending yourself to yourself. And then many times, even the people that God appeared to, they were always conscious of their negative. I don't know how to talk. I am young. All that negative. So being man enough is, first of all, have you marketed yourself to yourself? And you can tell, I'm actually a man enough. So when somebody asks you, show you a man enough, you ask, in which area? Because it's now to display your manness. First of all, is the issue of emotional stability. Emotional stability. And that's what we talk about, the emotional intelligence. Are you able to control your anger? Are you able to control your emotions? So those issue of self-control, self-government, you're able to govern yourself. If you're able to govern yourself, it will be very easy even to govern others. If you're able to lead yourself, it will be very easy to lead others. So it all begins, first of all, with myself. How much do I appreciate myself? How much am I happy about myself, even being a male? Because there are some people who look at their face and they wonder, I wish I was born a woman. So now this woman meets another woman and tells, show yourself a man. In fact, you tell him, I even didn't want to be a man.
How did in the first place?
So those are some of the things we are talking about. That's where the mentorship and men are supposed to go back to affirm the boys so that they can accept themselves unconditionally. They appreciate themselves, and now they're able to know, why was I created to be a male man?
I want us to take a break. And when we come back hapo kwa relationship kidogo, the pressure and the expectation is way too much. The expectation from the society, from your relatives and everyone around you, and I don't know if from yourself the expectation is the same, and the pressure for self. Like the way you're saying, market yourself to yourself first. Do we even market ourselves to ourselves first?
Good.
You can say you are, but yet again, listening as a third person, if I tell you to sell yourself in an audible way, you've already sold yourself short in some aspect. So I want us to look at it from that perspective because of the pressure in the society, the expectations, and what you're able to do and what you're also not able to do. Viewers, send in your question, interact with us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. We'll be back shortly.
Hello kids, and welcome to Kids Mind, where we learn, we laugh, and we explore.
Today we are going to be reading about what? Yes, Bible story.
Are you ready to listen to our today's Bible story? Are you ready to listen? Hands on ears. Are you ready to listen? 1 Samuel chapter 17 talks about the story of David and Goliath. Have you ever heard of the story of David and Goliath before?
Follow us at GPS TV Africa. Also, you can SMS us on our SMS line 21144.
What is always before you but can't be seen?
Kudiscover talent.
Kudiscover. Ulijuangaje like unaweza imba like
Kini Trace Jamii Kipchoge kwa ngoma na mfala wananidis na wanabonga kwa ngoma, mafanjo wananipenda ndo nazidi kwa roga, wenye walenjaribu manze walishachoka na nikozabe meditation naendelesha generation niliofanya
Wewe at 1 year old ulikuwa unafanya nini?
you're feeling the vibe. Ulitoa a few days ago, unaweza taka utuambie like ulikuwa unafikiria nini when you came up with the lyrics. Yeah.
So I'm doing my thing. Don't try and stop me when I'm doing my thing. I'm trying to boss, let me do my thing. And if you're trying to win, you can be on my team. Yeah, so I'm doing my thing. Don't try and stop me when I'm doing my thing. I'm trying to boss, let me do my thing.
You feel like you're young at heart, I'm an old soul. If you could only listen to one singer or band for the rest of your life, who would you choose?
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, viewer, to Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are asking the question, are you man enough to say I do? Send in your question, interact with us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, we were talking about the boy child and also the pressure and the expectations that there is in the society. When I'm asking this question, I'm asking it in from the sense of a lot of men are not looking forward to relationships, to marriage, to commitment, or even intentionality. They are looking for good vibes, a chill out, some kidogo fun here and there. But when you just start talking about real life commitment, real life engagement, like everything to be compact and solidified to one direction so that you see in the same page, they withdraw. This is not what I was subscribing to. I was subscribing to everything apart from this.
This one,
So why are we having that? Is it the societal pressure or the expectations? Because you said men are providers of security and everything that is thereof. So how do we pull out of? Because even for us women, we are empowered, yes. And even when you're listening to those who are doing well in their business and everything, and they're not married, you ask them, what are you looking for? I'm looking for a man who is going to
be a man enough.
Who will be a man enough to do everything that we were being taught growing up. Apparently, those are vintage buddies and millennials that they'll tell you, I need my man to be providing for me, not asking me questions like to be, there is also that assumptions as women that we expect from men without us asking. And yet again, in our generation that we are in, you're being told, you have to communicate what you want. But if you go and if you're bold enough to communicate that, then you realize they withdraw.
You know why it's happening? Both of them, the male
and
the female, are living a lie, are not living the reality of life. And the reality of life is getting it from the original blueprint, the original design.
No, I'm listening to the original design. And what is coming to my mind is Adam and Eve.
Original design.
Okay.
And that's where because if I am living as a man from the original design, why did God make me a man? I will not fear getting into a relationship. Why? I'm not existing for myself. I'm not the one who brought myself here. I was brought here for a divine reason. And one of the divine reasons is to co-create. And how do you co-create? You got to get into a relationship. If you are born, you yourself, why wouldn't you also make a positive contribution into the next generation? So, I will not fear getting into marriage. I will not fear getting into a relationship. Because I'm getting into a relationship with the blueprint of the Creator, and I'm participating in the creation, being fruitful. And because I'm getting into His business, where we come back to Jesus telling the parents, don't you know I must be in my Father's business? So I actually came here as a man to carry out my father's business. And what is my father's business? Get into a relationship. And because I am carrying his business, he will support me. So I'm not living from the societal expectation. I'm living from the expectation of the father. And I'm not actually now a victim. I'm actually coming from being a victor. I'm an overcomer. So he will supply. He will supply the energy. He will supply the ability, because I'm living to bring glory to him. Jesus says in Matthew, in John chapter 17, I have brought you glory by finishing the work that you gave me to do. So when we are aware of that work, that I came here as a male, and I carry the factory, the sperms and all those things, you know, and the way to bring forth them, it's getting to a relationship, you know, and this woman comes to help me. So even ladies, when they are coming to help in carrying for this agenda, because it was said, and he created to him a suitable helper. You are not coming necessarily to be helped. You are not being rescued. You are coming to participate. So both of them are participating in the business of the Father. And what does that mean? Both of them make contributions. So they are participants. There's no one who is coming to be like a parasite.
No, parasite is a very wrong word to use. It's a very harsh word.
No, but the reality is some people are taking advantage of others.
True.
Even some men,
True.
they are becoming parasites to ladies. And that's why some even men are asking, be a man enough. Why must I take care of you? You know, be a man enough. Because this woman, there's something she's looking for. And you're not providing. So when you don't become a man enough to provide direction, to provide security, to provide, you know, it says in Isaiah, somewhere, chapter 4, that in that day, 7 women shall come to one man, and they shall tell him, we shall eat our own food. We only need to be called with your name.
Joke of the year.
Not joke of the year.
It's in the Bible.
No, I'm coming to that. So that you may take away this disgrace. So the issue is, what is a name? Why do the issue of name there is not SK. It's not the issue of that. They are looking for somebody to define them properly. To be able to show them what is their capability, what is their potential. And it's a man who is already secure in his identity that can be able to help define others. So they ask, can you define us? Can you tell us how do we handle this wealth? How they are looking for somebody to help them, you know, maneuver in the whole affair. But there are men, when you come to them, even that throw you have, it will be lost. Even the match that you have, it shall be squandered. But they are looking for somebody who is going to help them increase them, expand them. You know, see beyond the horizons. Open their eyes that they can see better and they can see themselves better. You know, that's the whole issue. So real manhood is the ability to remove disgrace among people and helping them come to an awareness. The other day I was talking to a group, and I asked them, who told you you are Africans? Who told you you are Kenyans? Because we have been so bombarded with our geographical location, and we are not able to see opportunities that are out there. And the scripture is very clear. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. So when I see myself from God's perspective, I now become a global citizen. And I can work anywhere in this world. I don't judge myself from ground kara he. You know, this may not be very, very, very good to say, but I was in the US, and I was telling the Kenyans there, the people living there, even the so-called Americans are not the original owners of that land. They came and threw the Red Indians out. So nobody can say, this is our land. Even them, they are immigrants. They migrated there and they took charge. So we can move into any country and everywhere and take charge. And there are so many countries that have a very old population. So what are we saying? We have to awake ourselves and see beyond the horizons. And that being man enough is the ability to break limitations among people, economic limitation, emotional limitation, so that people can be full of courage, people can believe in themselves, people can celebrate themselves. That's why the 7 women are coming to somebody who can make them, yes, I'm actually...
Unajua ukisema hivyo, you like giving a leeway to 7.
No, not the issue of marriage here. It's not the issue of marriage. It's the issue of...
How are you going to take charge and responsibility of 7 women?
It's not responsibility. They are saying we even have our own things. It's the issue is, can you define us more? Can you help us?
How are you going to define 7 women?
That's becoming,
as a man.
It's becoming a mentor, not a tormentor. Mentoring them. Mentoring them.
But you've not even mentored yourself.
That's now I talk about. That's where we started. Being man enough is being able even to mentor yourself and be responsible of yourself, that you know I'm not, I'm a source of security. I'm supposed to empower others. I'm able to inspire others.
I like the fact that you brought it out in that context of mentorship, because
many women are being tormented.
True.
Men are tormentors. Men are predators. But they're supposed to be mentors and inspirers. So being man enough is being able to living intentional life. That I'm going to make positive contribution into the society and help somebody else become better, not bitter. And many times, many people are so bitter because of the men that they related with. Girls are bitter. They have been taken advantage of. They have been abandoned. They have been abused.
If women were to write books,
they actually are book. They are.
No, like one book. What waandike tu a page.
They will ask, are there men enough?
Do we have them?
Are they even there? That's why when they find one.
But yet again, I wouldn't say we don't have. Yeah. We do have.
Yes.
But those who, the few that we have, wanasema washachukuliwa, wako na wenyewe.
And also, the template that you are coming with looking for that man.
Ni ya ule mwenye ashachukuliwa.
Na pia, it is not necessary for you to be a helpmate to help me fulfill the purpose and the calling that God gave him. Is for you to be helped. You are coming as a sucker. And that's why men are fearing. Because we anakuja nikamua. Even the little energy I have. But
parting shots.
They are supposed to be inspired.
But I think it's a two-way thing.
Yes.
It's a two-way thing. Hapo kwa kumalizana, it's a two-way thing. I'm being told you are running out of time. Please give us your parting shots.
Being man enough is being able to understand my divine mission, so that you can be helped. So even when you're getting into a relationship, you are bringing somebody around who help you to move in that direction. You have a vision. You already know the why you are existing. What is your contribution to the society? You know, and that aspect of being enough is being a good, a generous person, a kind person, a person that can be relied on, a person that can be dependent on.
I hope mmepata mwa Kenya. Let's continue this conversation offline across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21140. Next time, have a nice time. Goodbye.
Everywhere, GBS.